So let's say hello to Paul Heyman, who's very busy. Paul, how are you? I mean, I don't know if my clock is broken here, but it was supposed to be 1:05. I mean, it's 1:17.
You're welcome for my appearance.
How's things, Paul?
Oh, it's magnificent for me. It's WrestleMania week. How are things for you, Mr. Helwani?
Pretty quiet this week. I mean, you're not doing anything really important. No big appearances, right?
I'm glad to see you're staying up to date with everything.
Well, it's so great to talk to you. It's so great to have you on. I think this is, some might say this was the program that reignited your career. Remember when no one was really talking about you, you came on with a big jug of coffee and really put you back on the map. I think even the New York Post was quoting you back then. You remember that with the jug of coffee AOL days 2010 after UFC 116?
Some would say that, huh? And you read everybody's tweets, don't you?
Oh, yeah, especially that one guy who was tweeting us every month afterwards, asking when you would come back on. You remember that guy?
Oh, the guy that looked like he was an Asian version of Devo.
Yes. Last week you tweeted...
What was that guy's name?
Oh, man, I can't believe I actually forgot because we've talked about him in the past.
Mr. Pack or something.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Wow, great memory. Wow. Last week you tweeted, perhaps if you'd quit living out your masturbatory fantasies of being me, capital M-E, you'd keep your credibility as a journalist intact. I wanted to have you on to ask you, after our great chat in November, how I've been doing. I took that advice to heart, been cutting promos left and right, putting people over. It sounds like you're not impressed.
Well, it's not whether I'm impressed or not. The subject matter was whether you should be doing it or not. Now, when you cut your Helwani promo on me back whenever that was, I don't really remember what. Though the steak sandwich was really good. Nice. That was a good steak sandwich. Mazel tov. But you asked me how you did on the promo. Then the direct interrogatory was, how did I do? And I answered that interrogatory. This is a different subject matter, whether you should be doing it or not, which I addressed in my tweet.
Okay.
And being that you read all tweets, you saw what I said.
I thought you would be impressed because I was shooting on Brock Lesnar, who you're now at odds with. And so could I ask you, what has it been like to be on the other side of the fence, going toe-to-toe with him as opposed to being on his side?
It's the same as it is being in his corner. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And nothing but money. It's a cash cow working with or against Brock Lesnar, and especially when you're tied at the hip to the single biggest attraction in the entire industry, the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns. So it's what's it like? It's a blast. Why wouldn't it be a blast? I'm still talking about Brock Lesnar, just from the opposite side of the spectrum.
He has been very entertaining, very likable, very funny. Where has this Brock Lesnar been for 20 years? How come we didn't see this guy earlier in his career?
You didn't need to. It wasn't time yet. It's the same reason why you didn't see the Tribal Chief in 2012. You had to see the badass, the Samoan badass of the Shield. You had to see the big dog, and you keep on elevating and enhancing and upgrading until finally Roman Reigns was ready to reveal the Tribal Chief. This is part of Brock Lesnar's personality. Brock Lesnar is not a one-dimensional human being. He's barely a human being at all. He's a beast. You saw some of this, though, in the UFC press conferences. There was that famous moment where he was asked about Junior Dos Santos when he was doing The Ultimate Fighter. And he started talking about, oh, yeah, I'm BFFs with Junior. And I think it was against Cain Velasquez, and Brock was asked a question, just, do you respect his ability to do this? And Brock had something in front of him like this, and Brock just went, no, and pushed it away, and the whole place went crazy. I mean, Brock Lesnar has a great sense of humor. He just never found the time in WWE to display it. He displayed some of it in UFC. And this is just a part of his personality. This is what he's like on his farm. This is what he's like when he's hunting. This is off-season Brock. and he brought off-season Brock to fight season this time around because he was going to have to show a different side of his personality since I was attached to the hip of Roman Reigns.
So none of this surprises you, right? Like there's never been a moment where you're like, damn, I didn't know you had that in you.
Oh, I always know. I mean, I've seen this side of his personality for 20-something years.
Okay. He's been working a lot.
And again, so have you and everybody else. He showed hints of this in UFC.
Yeah, no. I mean, he didn't have someone doing interviews for him then. So, like, I think the wrestling fans are a little more surprised than the MMA fans, right?
Thank God.
Because now he's a wrestler.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you'd have to show them something else to surprise them. I don't know how many, first of all, I don't know how many fans today saw Brock Lesnar when he debuted in 2002. That's a 20-year gap. And number two, I don't know how many fans today have seen him in his UFC press conferences and his ESPN appearances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a refreshing new version of Brock Lesnar for the WWE audience.
If Roman wins, one of the good things about having a dominant champion is he is dominant. He's box office. But one of the maybe drawbacks is you've now gone through the entire, roster, the top contenders for the past almost 2 years now, and you start to, you're lacking opponents, lacking big, names to go up against. If he wins on Sunday, are we facing a problem where there's no one else for him to go up against?
One, I don't deal in ifs. I deal in absolutes. And Roman Reigns is going to win this Sunday. And that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. Two, I think there's some people that are really ready to step up. And I'm not going to name them because it's up to them to step up. And they're not going to get the benefit of my endorsement if they don't know that it's time for them to step up. There are still some very big money matches for Roman Reigns. Is this the biggest one on the table at the moment? Of course it is. It's the main event of WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Winner take all. Title versus title, unification match. Are there other people that are ready to step up into the spotlight and give Roman Reigns a fight? Absolutely. Are they destined to make an impact this Sunday at WrestleMania? They better if they want to be next in line to challenge Roman Reigns.
My fantasy is he wins on Sunday. He's the guy who should win. He's celebrating. You're celebrating. If you smell, hits the speakers. We get the 1-year build to next year to SoFi. What do you think? Can you tell Vince? I mean, this is an idea, right? This is a box office idea, is it not? No one's thought of this.
Why? Why would you do it?
Why not? Family versus family.
Because
Uso
then
versus
you're
Uso.
telling everybody that for the next 364 days, nothing matters until The Rock.
I mean, they did it with Cena back in the day, right? Cena and The Rock.
I didn't say it was right.
Oh my God.
That wasn't my call. Nobody consulted me on that one.
You didn't like that idea?
Didn't say I liked it. Didn't say I didn't. And it doesn't matter because it's 10 years ago.
Right.
So if I liked it, who cares? It's 10 years ago. Even if it played well then, would it play well now? And if I don't like it, who cares? It was 10 years ago.
All right. So you're not in favor of this idea?
No.
Okay. I'm not going to ask.
Well, if Dwayne Johnson wants to step up to Roman Reigns, then Dwayne Johnson should step up to Roman Reigns and we'll set the match and we'll go for it. But to go for it a year from now, that's a long time. A lot can happen in a year. I mean, what if I say to Roman Reigns, take 30 days off and do a movie just to show Dwayne Johnson who's a bigger box office attraction in film, which it would be Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is a better actor than Dwayne Johnson, to be blunt. I mean, there's a lot that can happen. We got a year.
You announced recently in an interview with Richard Deitch that you re-signed with WWE. Big news. This was everywhere. Did you consider?
Well, that's a little out of context. Not much. I'll give you credit. A little. We were discussing locking me in.
Just pan
And
the camera up a little bit because you're only seeing your mouth right now. Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, but right there, that's the money, right?
Yeah.
There. That's the money, Paulie. You know, that's
there it is. There it is.
That's
perfect.
That's how I make my living. And he was trying to find out what my commitment is to WWE.
Yeah.
And the fact is, I re-signed last year. I just didn't make a public spectacle of it. And a lot of people lately have been negotiating through the media, and it works for them. And God bless them for doing it. But that's not my style. I never wanted to negotiate my contracts through the media. No one knew when Brock Lesnar was returning because Brock Lesnar kept it to himself. No one really knows how long Brock Lesnar is signed for because Brock Lesnar kept it to himself. No one really knows when Roman Reigns' contract is up, if it's up, when it's up, why it's up, for how much it's up. Will he resign? Did he resign? Has he already resigned? Is he going to resign? Keeps it to himself. I run in that circle. And I never wanted to negotiate in public, number one. And number two, I just don't like it when, oh yeah, I just resigned and I got this much money for this many years and I'm committed for it's just. I saw your show with MJF. I understand what he's doing. He has a Yiddish Keppela. It's smart negotiating on his part at the moment. But I'm in a different position right now and was a year ago. And a year ago, when my contract was coming due, it was a very easy decision. WWE made it very easy for me. And they locked me in for long term. And I don't want to discuss how long of a term it is. Long enough for both parties to be real happy with each other and real comfortable with each other and happy with each other's contributions to each other.
Are you impressed with MJF?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know. Maybe you don't like his shtick. I don't know. Maybe you don't think he's good on the mic. Seems like the type of guy that you would like, right?
Because he's Jewish?
Yeah. No, but I mean, come on. He cuts a great promo, right? I mean, he's incredible on the mic, no?
I think he's very credible on the mic. Incredible is not a compliment. Incredible means he's not credible. He's credible. He's very good at what he does.
Have you ever met him?
And he's very young, and he has a big future ahead of him.
Ever meet him?
No, not to my knowledge. I may have. If I have, I don't. I'm not aware of it.
Okay, because that was, I mean, you don't hear people talk, thank you for bringing it up, you don't hear people talk like that in pro wrestling. I'm a free agent as of January 1st, 2024, and WWE has interest. Like, it was kind of, I didn't expect that, and so I was going to ask you what you thought of that. Clearly you saw it. Would you have advised him, if you were kind of his guy, his counsel, would you have advised him not to do that? Is that bad business?
No, from his perspective, no.
Okay.
In his position, no. Where he's working right now, no. Where he wants to work in the future, no.
Right.
It's not bad business at all.
That is fair.
For what he views, for what he obviously views his trajectory to be, for what he obviously views his future to be, not bad business at all. Pretty smart, I might even say.
Would you be interested in working with him?
Might even say, I would say it's pretty smart.
Would you be interested in working with him?
And I will. It was pretty smart.
Would you be interested in working with him?
I'm interested. When you say working with him, you mean him as part of the roster, aligning myself with him? We're a long way. Right now, he's in a very enviable spot in an upstart promotion that has tremendous financing and excellent distribution. That's an if. If. And as I've said many times, my father taught me in life, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. She doesn't, so she's not. That's an if. Let's see what the future holds for him. I'm sure at some point in this life, we're going to bump into each other.
I don't want to ask you for a spoiler. You gave us one already, but the news that this is not a spoiler. This is out. This has been confirmed. Just given your history in the business, given what you know, you're one of the best minds ever. the news that Cody was leaving AEW, did that shock you?
Mm-hmm. In some aspects, yes, and in some aspects, no.
Could you further explain?
I could. I even will.
All right.
He's one of the founders of the company.
Right.
A lot of it is his concept. A lot of the initial phase was on him. And Cody always had a vision to fill the boots of his father, not just in the ring, but behind the scenes. And the fact that he didn't have the level of participation in decision-making that he initially probably thought. This is speculation on my end. I never heard this from Cody. But just seeing the manner in which the creative end of that company grew, it doesn't surprise me that at some point he was going to say, not what I originally envisioned, and I want to see what life is like elsewhere. Hmm. So when a founder of a company whose initial vision it was, or part of it was, leaves, that's always surprising. Knowing what I know, and that's admittedly very little of the circumstances, not so surprising.
You're doing incredible work. You don't need me to tell you that. I'm curious if you ever go back. I was talking to Logan Paul about this, and I found his answer to be fascinating. He can't watch his stuff from 5 years ago. His YouTube clips, his stuff. He can't watch. Your life, your legacy is, on film, on TV, on YouTube for the past 30 plus years. Can you go back and watch 90s Paul Heyman promos? Can you go back and watch 2000? How do you feel when you see that stuff?
Like I'm watching a different person. I'm surprised Logan Paul can't watch his stuff from 5 years ago. I can't watch my stuff from 5 days ago.
Wow, why?
Because I see all the things I could do so much better. And I'm 5 days smarter. I'm 5 days more advanced. I'm 5 days more intelligent. I'm 5 days wiser. I have 5 days more experience. I have 5 days to think about how I could have made that scene better, how I could have accentuated a point better, how I could have said things in a different structure that would have drawn even more money, how I could have added to what Roman Reigns was saying with a different look, a different perspective, a different turn, a different way I could hold my shoulders. I'll watch things a couple of times from different perspectives. I'll watch a scene for the scene. I'll watch a scene just to watch Roman. I'll watch a scene to watch the audience. I'll watch a scene just to watch me. And then I'll watch the scene in its entirety. And then I walk away from it. Mm. And usually is all the same night or the next day. And then I'm done watching it. I can't watch it past that. I just tear into myself too much.
Wow.
I don't like it.
Fascinating, considering how brilliant you are. I love you, despite.
Yeah, but I have to be. But I have to be more brilliant tomorrow than I am today, and more brilliant 2 days from now than I am tomorrow, or someone's going to pass me by. I mean, you mentioned MJF. I mean, kid does great promos. I don't want his promos touching mine. I'm always going to be competitive about that. I'm always going to stay ahead of him and everybody else. And the day that I don't, I got to get out because I'm not the best at it. I want to be the best at what I do. There's not a lot I can do in life. I can't dunk a basketball. I can't tap dance. I can't juggle. I'm not qualified to do a lot of things. This I'm really, really good at. And this is what I like to do. So I want to be the best at it. Anything I do, I want to be the best at. I don't want to do it.
Well, we actually have some breaking news, Frank. Breaking news. You're the best, Paul. Despite your hurtful tweet last week, I still love you. You're the best. Thank you. This is like a shot in the arm right here. We only get you for 20 minutes. I'm like, golly, Richard Deitch got you for like 75 minutes. I get you for 20. Alas, I'm not jealous, okay? But
Richard Deitch didn't schedule 9 other guests.
I'm sorry. That's the type of show. Hey, when you're the open weight broadcasting champion of the world, Paul Heyman, you need to have guests on because guess what? I don't need them. They need me. They need me.
There's an expression in the Bloodlines locker room about people that walk around with title belts.
What is it?
Those who walk around with them should be forced to defend them.
I'm in. Let me know time and place. I'll be there.
Really?
Anytime.
Really?
What do you need me?
Will you be at WrestleMania this weekend?
I will be there, and I'll bring this with me.
Care to promote it during this interview at all?
Let's go. I'll be there. You need me on the bump. You need me to show those jabronis a thing or two about cutting promos. You need me on the show of shows, night 1, night 2. You need me on NXT. Talk to my agents, okay? Uncle Nick will be in contact. I just need you to promote
WrestleMania a little bit during this interview.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We talked about AEW. We talked about MJF. We talked about my past promos. We talked about Brock Lesnar, UFC. Just a little bit of WrestleMania. Just a little.
I did it at the top before when I was killing time before you got on. Night 1.
I was running late. I am just a little bit busy this week.
WrestleMania Saturday. WrestleMania
Sunday.
Sunday.
If you'd like me to. If you'd like me to stay on, I got plenty of time right now.
No, it's okay. We have to get to Yoshihiro Sexy M.
I can push my schedule.
No, it's okay. WrestleMania Saturday on BT Sport Box Office. I have to give a shout out to them and Peacock Network. Sunday, same thing. Peacock, BT Sport, NXT, SmackDown.
But it's not the same thing. It's a much different event.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturday. Ronda Rousey. You know Ronda Rousey very well. She does not speak highly of you.
Yeah.
Nor should she.
Ask her what I think of me. What I think of her. Go ahead.
I don't want your opinion on Ronda Rousey.
All right.
Because then I'd have to reply to it. And you don't want me to reply to it. So moving right along, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. What a match that is. And Stone Cold Steve Austin on the KO show.
Yeah.
Right? There's Bianca Belair challenging Becky Lynch. I mean, night 1 is stacked.
It is.
Then night 2, the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Title versus title. Champion versus champion. Unification match. Winner take all. Brock Lesnar versus the Tribal Chief. The undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. With Paul Heyman in his corner. Available on Peacock. Ariel's friends at BT Sports. Got to plug them. All sorts of cable carriers. Fun event.
I hope to see you there.
Oh, you will see me there. Will you be there?
Yes, I'll be there.
Live in person?
Yes.
Are you bringing your children?
No.
Why?
I'm working.
It's history.
I know. Next one.
Where are you sitting? The next one's in L.A.
I know. Can't wait. Rock versus Roman.
I know. The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. 365 days. Yeah.
I don't know where I'm sitting, but maybe I'll let you know, and maybe we can meet up for a Manischewitz.
Why? I don't drink.
Neither
you drink?
No, grape juice.
Oh, I thought Manischewitz is the wine.
No,
it's just grape juice?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do grape juice. That we can do.
I have to go now.
This past few
yes, this has been great.
These have been like
this is some of our best work.
Just gone like
this is some of our best work. Paul, I love you. I do have to run.
You think so?
Yes, I think this is great.
Because you don't watch our old work, but you shouldn't watch it.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, the Logan Paul Heyman scenario.
I'll see you in Dallas. Thanks for doing this. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah.
There he is.
Are we done now?
Yes, we're done. We're done. Paul Heyman joining us. What a pleasure.
This has been so unpleasant.
Oh, I dropped my belt.